2 minutes on photosynthesis. What a process this is. It takes the energy from the sun in the form of light energy and it converts it to chemical energy in the form of glucose. It means plants make their own food. Let me say that again. Plants make their own food. And they do this only using carbon dioxide and water. And the first thing about photosynthesis, and in any question you get, is you need to learn the equation off by heart. Carbon dioxide plus water goes to glucose plus oxygen using light energy. We also need to know the chemical formulas for this. So water H2O plus CO2 goes to C6H12O6, which is glucose plus O2 oxygen. And if you balance that, you get 6H2O, 6CO2 goes to C6H12O6 plus 6O2. So what happens in photosynthesis? Well, when the light goes through the waxy cuticle of the top of the leaf into the palisade cells, it goes to hits chlorophyll in the chloroplast, and it's chlorophyll with enzymes which do this amazing process of turning the carbon dioxide and water into glucose. Remember that oxygen is a waste product, a bit like exhaust fumes. It happens to be fantastic for animals, but it doesn't mean anything to the plant. Okay, so photosynthesis is happening, and we have this production of glucose. So what are the things that affect photosynthesis? Well, this is really important, and we call these limiting factors, key term, limiting factors. And the things that affect are temperature, because it affects the enzyme rate. And if you look at my enzyme podcast, you'll see that affects the rate of reactions, temperature, because of the kinetic energy of the particles. Light, the more light energy there is, the faster photosynthesis is going to happen. We call that light intensity though, not just light. Carbon dioxide, the more carbon dioxide we've got, the more photosynthesis will be there. And then also the amount of chlorophyll there is, because of course it's the chlorophyll in the chloroplast that's doing it. And so those limiting factors can have various graphs which you might be examined on. So for example, with light intensity and carbon dioxide, it's a graph that goes up and then stays at a plateau, because once you get to a certain amount of carbon dioxide and light intensity, it can't go any faster. It's like going out in the rain. You can get wet, but if you jump in a swimming pool, you can't get any wetter, even if you put more and more water on you. Okay, so you're saturated there, and so are the leaves with light intensity and carbon dioxide. So the graph doesn't come down, it stays plateaued. So we say there that the carbon dioxide and light intensity are no longer a limiting factor. What about temperature though? Well, temperature, you've got a graph, because it's about the enzymes, you've got a graph that goes up, but once it gets to about 40, it goes down again, because the enzymes are denaturing, because the active sites are changing shape and the substrates no longer fit them. With chlorophyll, once again, the more you'll get to a certain point where, in fact, it doesn't matter how much more chlorophyll you add, photosynthesis won't increase, because it might be that light intensity or carbon dioxide or temperature is the limiting factor. So we need to know about what the 4 limiting factors are: temperature, light intensity, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll concentration, and we need to know what their graphs look like.